recorded there, the meeting's proceedings. Whatever is discussed and agreed upon. Another question, my learner, I would like us to look at is who writes the minutes? And usually it is the secretary who takes down the minutes of the meeting. However, it is good, my learner, to note that if the secretary is absent, that does not mean that minutes will not be taken down. So any other member or the vice secretary may take down the minutes, or any other member as appointed, maybe by the chairperson. And before we continue with our lesson on minutes, I would like, my learner, for you to note this, because these are the objectives of this lesson. By the end of this lesson, my learner, you should be able to, 1, define minutes. And that is what we have already done. We have defined the minutes. So by the end of this lesson, my learner, you are expected to know how to define, or to be able to define, minutes. Objective number 2 is to describe the format or the style of minutes. As we will see, my learner, as we continue, is that there is an official format or the physical layout of minutes. So by the end of this lesson, you are supposed to know, or you are expected to be able to describe this format. And the third objective, my learner, you should be able to write minutes of a club, a society, a group, or an organization. As a learner in school, we have clubs, we have societies. So you may find yourself appointed as an official in either a particular club or in the society. And if you're lucky to be the secretary, then from time to time, you'll be required to write down the minutes. Also, a group or an organization. Let's look at our objectives once again. Objective number 1, my learner, or our dear learners, is that you should be able to define minutes. Objective number 2 is describe the format or the style of minutes. And objective number 3 is that the learner should be able to write minutes of a club, a society, a group, or an organization. So the next thing we will do is look at the format or the style of writing minutes. And the very first thing is the heading. The minutes must have a heading or a title, if you may like. So the question is, what should be captured in the heading? There are 4 things, Mailana, that you're supposed to capture in the heading. And these are the name of the group that is meeting, the name of the group that is meeting, the date, the venue, and the time. The name of the group that is meeting, the date, the venue, and the time of the meeting. And it is important, learners, to note that the heading should be in that order, starting with the name of the group, then the date, the venue, and the time. We may look at an example, but before that, it is good also to note that the heading is written in capital letters and it is underlined. I'll repeat that the heading is written in capital letters and it is underlined. Let's look at an example. So we will start with the name of the group that is meeting. We may pick a club or a society, but allow me to pick the name of a club. So the minutes of wildlife club. Then we have the date. So we have held on. We have the date. Let's have something like 1st of June 2023. The minutes of Wildlife Club held on 1st June 2023. We have the date, the venue. Where was this meeting held? At Favor Hall. That is the venue. Then the time. Starting from 10 a.m. So if you look at our heading, it has the name of the group that is meeting, the minutes of the Wildlife Club held on 1st June 2023. That gives us the date at Favor Hall. That is the venue, starting from 10 a.m. is the time. So that, and then we have said, 1, it should be written in caps. Then 2, it should be underlined. So that is how your heading should look like. We are still looking at the format or the style of writing minutes. We have looked at the heading, and the second thing is the record of attendance. Record of attendance. So here, our learners, you have a list of the members that were present during the meeting, and you are going to write those who are present. Then you also capture those who are absent with apology. Then there are those members that decide not to communicate or to give an apology. Those ones you just talk about the absent or absent without apology. And it may happen that there is a guest in the meeting, somebody who is not a member. In our case, we are talking about the Wildlife Club. We can use that as our example or through. I think it will serve us well. We are talking about the Wildlife Club, and the members are learners in our school. So in the meeting, it may happen that we have a visitor or a guest who is not a student. We also need to capture that they were present during the meeting, and that is what we call in attendance. Let's talk about the members present or just present. You may write members present or present. We are on record of attendance. We have members present or just present. So you may find that the question specifies for you how many members were present in the meeting, or the question may not specify. So if the question has specified, then you are supposed to talk about that number that the question gives you. If the question has not specified how many members attended the meeting, then you are expected to be creative enough depending on the group that is meeting. I hope we are together. On the members present, we write their names starting with the senior most. For example, in our club, the chairperson will be the senior most person. So you may have something like Riziki Baraka. Then you have the dash, you have chairperson. Then from the chairperson, you go to the vice chair. Allow me to continue here. We have the Habu Kawera. This will be the vice chair. Then we have Gabriel Mutua. This is the secretary. Okay, before we have the secretary, we may have the treasurer. We have John Nduku, who is the secretary. We have Diana Lucky, who is the vice secretary. Then now you may have the members. You may have Collins Mwenda, who is a member. You may have Nelly Njoki, there's a member, and like that. You list all the members that are present, starting with the senior most, who is the chairperson, all the way to the members. We were talking about the members present. From there, we will also look at those who sent apologies. So those who sent apologies, we'll continue here. So you may record them as absent with apology, or even if you said apologies, it's okay. So we have absent with apology, or members absent with apology. Our learners, you realize that it is not humanly possible, really, to have a meeting and then we have everybody attending the meeting. If, for example, you look at the meetings that happen in school, something like parents' meeting, prize giving days, and such days, you realize that all the parents do not attend. And that is why this particular one is important, because there are those who will have valid reasons as to why they did not attend the meeting. So you may give 2 or 3 here, absent with apology. You may have Linda, Wawera, if it's a member. Then you may have Derek, Kamau. So we have 2 who sent their apologies. And again, learners, it is good to note that the question may specify how many sent apologies, or it may not. So please follow what the question tells you to do in case you're given the number of members who sent their apologies. From there, we go to the members who are absent without apology. So these ones, we just record them as absent, or absent without apology. Absent without apology. Again, you may have two names. Then from there, we have talked about, so you may have here Emily Wanja, and you may have Rehema Rose. Then we have talked about the guests. These ones, you record them here as the in attendance. Now the guests, or the invited, you may have the patron attending the meeting. So this is where you write his or her name. And then we may have, because it is the Wildlife Club that is meeting, we may have a representative from KWS attending. So in attendance, you have maybe Mr. Wambogo. This one is the patron. And then we may have Professor Ngugi. Professor Ngugi, this is the KWS representative, or an official from the KWS. So that is the record of attendance. And from there, we are going to talk about the agenda. I hope we are together, learners. Thank you. We talk about the agenda. The agenda. And the first item here is the preliminaries. So what do we write under the preliminaries? This one is often when the chairperson calls the meeting to order, and any other comment or remarks from the chairperson may be recorded under the preliminaries. And in Kenya, we have a culture of starting our meetings with prayers, so that may be captured there also. Then the second item is confirmation of the minutes. In full, you have reading and confirmation of the previous minutes. So what happens here is that the secretary reads the minutes of the previous meeting. Then we have one member who was present in that previous meeting proposing or confirming, and then another member seconds that indeed that is a true record of the meeting's proceedings. From there, we have the third item, which is matters arising. So again, these are matters arising from the previous meeting. So if there is anything that was not discussed in detail, or anything that was not concluded, or anything that needed further investigation, this is where now a report is given. You may give a report or an update or a point of clarification, or if there is anything to do with correction and things of that matter are tackled here. Then the next one, we have the actual minutes. The actual minutes. Or some books will tell you business of the day. So in this meeting, whatever is discussed, or whatever made the meeting to be convened, is what is discussed here. So you have different items here, because the reason the meeting is convened at any given time, we have items that need to be discussed. So this is where you write all that. So you may have several items here. So we are going to minute them. If there are 3 items, if there are 4 items appearing here, we are going to minute them here. From there, we have any other business, or A or B. Or A or B, any other business. So here, there are some issues that will come up, mostly after everything that made the meeting to be convened has been discussed and deliberated on. There are other issues that come up, and mostly these are personal issues, and they don't really need a discussion or further being looked into. So mostly this is just issues that give information on various things or issues. And I am saying most of them could be personal. So it could be a communication also, maybe from the chair giving information on 1 or 2 things. From there, we have the adjournment. Adjournment. And here, nothing much happens, and there is a specific way that we adjourn the meetings. This just means the meeting was ended, or the meeting was adjourned. So you will have there being no other business, no other business, the meeting was adjourned, or you may say the meeting was ended at. You give the time when the meeting was adjourned. Then the next thing that you need to note is the date of the next meeting. Or the next meeting. It is also allowed to have to have the adjournment, and then you also talk about the date of the next meeting, still on the same, or you may have it as a different item. So we have next meeting, and here you give the date when the next meeting will happen, the time, and the venue. So the date, the time, and the venue. This one needs to be recorded there. Then the last thing is the confirmation. Here you have confirmed by, you have the chairperson, you leave a space, then this is where the chairperson is going to sign. Then we have the secretary, and where the secretary will sign. So you leave the space for that. Now, learners, it is important to note that once you have written down your minutes, you do not sign. Because what happens is that in now the meeting that will follow, that is when, after the secretary reads out the minutes, after it has been confirmed that indeed that is what transpired during the meeting, that is when now the chairperson and the secretary will do the signing. So please do not sign after writing the minutes. Are we together? Thank you. So we will look at a sample question. I don't know if it is possible for my director to project the question, please. Thank you. So the question says, a new journalism club has just been formed in your school. In the first meeting, 10 members attend. 3 members send apologies, while 2 members send no apology. The patron and a journalist from one of the leading media houses in the country also attend the meeting. The following issues are discussed: elections, the constitution, and recruitment of more members. You are requested to record the proceedings of the meeting. Write down the minutes. So learners, you can see this question is very specific about how many members were present, how many sent apologies, how many did not send apologies, and the in attendance, you're given all that. And further, the question actually gives you the issues. Now, it is important to note that if the meeting is the first of its kind, there has never been a meeting in maybe the club or the society, then the format that you have talked about, we will not have the confirmation of the minutes because there is no previous meeting, and also we will not have the item on matters arising because again we said there are matters arising from the previous meeting. So we do not have a previous meeting in this case, because we are told that the club has just been formed. Are we together? Then we are told it is the first meeting. So it is very important to note such details. So let's have the heading. So we have minutes, the minutes of the journalism club held on 18th June 2023. We talked about the name of the group that is meeting, the date, the venue, at the school People's Hall, held on 18th June 2023 at the School People's Hall at 12 noon. We said written in caps, then underlined. Then from there we go to the members present. There we are told there are 10. Good. We have the members absent with apology, or absent with apology. We have 3. Good. Then we have absent without apology. We have 2. Then in attendance, we are going to have the patron, and we also have the name of this journalist. Then we'll go to the preliminaries. From there, after the preliminaries, remember we do not have the confirmation and we do not have the matters arising. So, minute 1, it was in June 2023. So we have preliminaries. Then from here we are going to have our minute 2. Remember, we have said we do not have the confirmation of the previous minutes, and then we do not have the matters arising. Then we have these items, so we will pick the first item, which is elections. And you have elections. Then minute 3 will be the next item, which is the constitution. Then minute 4 will be recruitment of new members. Then that is how you're going to minute it, like that. Is there any question? Thank you for your comments, and I would like to leave you with another question. If my producer, you could project kindly. Thank you. We have another question here. So it is good to note that this question is different from the one that you have just done. In this one, it is not the first meeting. You are told you are the secretary of Hope Self-Empowerment Group. The chairperson calls for a special meeting due to a grant given to your group by a non-governmental organization. 8 members attend the meeting. 2 send apologies while 3 are absent. The meeting is also attended by the NGO's representative and the member of county assembly from your ward. Write down the minutes of the meeting. I hope that one is not a difficult one to attempt. Thank you. So I will leave you with that. The names of what? Yes, thank you. There is the question that, is it a must you write the members? And the answer is yes, it is a must you write the members who are present, because who knows, maybe they were ghost members, right? Maybe you just went to your kitchen, you and your wife and the kids had a meeting, and then you tell us that there was an official meeting with maybe the board of directors and things like that. So it is good to note down the members, because understand that minutes is a legal document that can actually be presented in a court of law. So I thank you, learners, for having time to listen to us and to watch us on Elimu TV. This is KU TV. We are on Facebook as KU TV, and you can always engage us through the platform that is projected on the screen. Thank you for having time to watch us and to listen to us, and I wish you all the best in your studies. Thank you.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of this course